Finley the fish was, to put it mildly, a worrier. Not just a little nibble-your-tail worried, but a full-blown, bubble-brained, scale-shivering scaredyfish. He worried about the shadows the seaweed cast, convinced they were monstrous sea creatures in disguise. He worried about the currents, imagining they'd sweep him away to the dreaded deep dark, a place he'd only heard whispered about in hushed tones by the older fish. He even worried about the bubbles his own breathing made, convinced they'd attract the attention of a hungry shark. His best friend, Shelley the seahorse, tried her best to reassure him. "Finley," she'd say, her voice as gentle as the swaying coral, "there's nothing to be afraid of. The seaweed is just seaweed. The currents will bring you back, and the bubbles are, well, they're just bubbles." But Finley's worries were like barnacles, clinging tight and refusing to let go. One day, a new fish arrived in the reef. A small, shy clownfish named Pip. Pip was even more timid than Finley, if such a thing was possible. He hid behind the anemone, peeking out with wide, worried eyes. Finley, despite his own anxieties, felt a pang of sympathy for the little clownfish. He knew what it was like to be afraid. He slowly, cautiously, approached Pip. He didn't try to force Pip out of hiding, he just stayed nearby, humming a little fishy tune he'd learned from his mom. He told Pip about the friendly angelfish who lived nearby. The one with the shimmering scales. He described the funny way the pufferfish inflated itself when startled. He talked about the beauty of the coral gardens, the way the sunlight filtered through the colorful branches. As Finley talked, something strange happened. He started to forget, just for a little while, about his own fears. He was so focused on making Pip feel better that he didn't have time to worry. And as he talked, he realized something else. The reef wasn't nearly as scary as he'd imagined. It was actually quite beautiful, full of interesting creatures and amazing sights. Pip, listening to Finley's stories, began to relax. He ventured out from behind the anemone, his eyes wide with curiosity. He and Finley spent the rest of the day exploring the reef together. Finley still felt a flutter of fear now and then, but it wasn't as overwhelming as it used to be. He had discovered that helping someone else overcome their fear was a great way to overcome his own. And he learned that sometimes, the best way to face your worries is to forget about them for a while and focus on something, or someone, else.